On that fateful day, 3rd of October 2024, I walked out and I believe never to go back again. 10 months ago, I took a decision that changed everything in my life. And that decision is what I want to share with you guys in today's video. The truth is that life most times presents us with opportunities, but these opportunities at times can be masqueraded in challenges that we don't even take it serious and we don't even want to dare. Actually, before now, for more than 2 decades, I have been contemplating. Was it more than 2 decades? 2 decades is way much. For like 3 years before now, I've been contemplating on leaving because I was already fed up. I was fed up with everything happening around and within me. And I know that sometimes when you shift, when you stop, when you shift to a new ground, things can get better, right? And then, though you cannot tell yourself what you're going to be expecting in those new places, you're not going to tell yourself, you cannot tell yourself what is going to be happening. But sometimes it's good to dare, it's good to take a leap of faith. And that was what I did 10 months ago. So, I've actually had myself in 9 to 5 all my life. I've been doing this 9 to 5 with the mindset that I'm going to be able to save enough money and then start up a business. But the truth is this, and this is what no most people will never tell you. That kind of money, that amount of money you think you're going to save to start a business may not come from a 9 to 5. And what was I actually doing? I was basically a classroom teacher in a private school. The truth is that it's fun, it's passionate. If you have the passion for children, if you're passionate to impact knowledge, you would not have issues with it. But a time comes in your life when you need more than the knowledge, when you need something, when you want knowledge you impact to augment or to be synonymous with the pay you will go home with. But that never happens, and it doesn't happen in the private sector, not with teaching. So initially, I was so overwhelmed. I was so excited doing this job, impacting children. I even had Facebook, YouTube channels, and Facebook page for those children to tell you how passionate I was. I was basically bringing out their talents there. But sometime along the run, I realized that no matter the kind of vision I have, no matter what I want to do, for this thing to move to the next level, it's not just the passion, it needs financial stability. I need the money to be able to finance this children's dream. I also need the money to be able to, if there's anything, understand, the transport, for example, I had to settle their affairs when we want to meet for meeting. I had to snack them up and all of that. It's all money. And then there are lots of things I had to invest in with money. The truth is that the money I was earning and what I was trying to do was not commensurate, right? And I started thinking, what else can I do? Because the truth is that if you don't have what it takes, sorry, you might have what it takes, but sometimes you need to know this person, you need to apply here, you need to do that, a lot of things. So at this moment of my life, I was thinking, I already come to a conclusion that you see this 9 to 5, I'm working for somebody, I don't want to do it again. I am so fed up of it and I want to do something for myself. So I had to pause the meetings with the children because it was financially tasking and I didn't have what it take. Right. So the next thing I did was, but I paused this after I had even stopped the 9 to 5. Right. So I told myself I was also doing some things online anyway, but at this moment it was a sewing phase. I was sewing a lot and there was nothing, to be sincere. There is nothing. I was not seeing any dime, any penny, any 1 naira. Understand? Because I know that sewing phase, that is what nobody will tell you. In the sewing phase, You're going to be spending a lot of things. You're going to be spending a lot of money, resources, energy, and you might not get it back for a long period of time, depending on how it's going to work out for you. So I fought with it for a long time. And I think I talked to some persons about it. Did I talk to anybody about it? Yeah, I didn't tell anybody close to me because I didn't want anybody to discourage me. I think I only told my husband, and he was not even saying anything about this because he'll be thinking, how do you want to cope with this? How do you want to do that? And I told myself, I said, see, this is my life at this moment. I'm so done with this because as you get older, as you get younger, sorry, let me be plain here. As you get older, you're going to realize that it's not just about the passion. You need money to fuel that passion. You need the finance, you need the right connection, and you might not get it in the private school. I'm sorry to say that maybe the parents and all that, you may not. There is a limit it places you. So I told him, that was the person I only told about it, but he was like, it's your life, like this kind of not approval the person will give you a kind of 50-50. If you choose to, what do you want to do? It was just just there. So I realized it was time for me to take the bull by the horn and do take a decision that I know would change my life forever. So it was also an Independence Day for me, the same it was with Nigeria. And this happened October, I think October, right? October 3rd. Normally in the school, if we have if there's any public holidays, schools to observe public holidays. So we observed this public holiday, and then I told myself, I said, this is the last. This is the last. Whatever is going to happen, let it happen. See, sometimes if you don't put a stop to say circle, you will remain in that circle thinking that somebody is going to come to save you. Nobody will save you. Nobody is coming to save you. So I packed everything in of the school in my custody. Everything, literally. I packed them, books and all of that. Before now, I've been keeping some of their things for them. Those I normally carry home, I don't drop them in school and all of that. So I packed everything. And on that fateful day, 3rd of October 2024, I walked out, and I believe never to go back again. So I went very early before the students started coming, because if you're doing a 9 to 5, you know that you have to wake up very early to be able to get to school before 7 o'clock as a teacher. 7:30 is you're really late. That is how taxing it can be. And then if you're late, you can be surcharged and all of that. So that's not for today anyway. I walked into the HOD's office. I greeted her. She was like, wow, you look good, because I think I wore a new clothes I've never worn before. It was a celebration of my freedom for me, right? So I gave her the books. I said, Ma, I have resigned. Ma, I've resigned. And like, oh, you would have told me, you should have told me. In my mind, I'm like, if I've told you, maybe you would discourage me. Because what we normally hear is, bad, good, you better. How you day better pass una don't come better pass how you dey, meaning that if you're staying at home, people asking you how are you, and then somebody's telling you welcome for coming back from work is better. But no, some of those, I call it poverty humility talks, that will keep you in one spot. I will not want you to try. A lot of them, they will be like, anyhow, let's be managing it until a better job comes. And what is the better job? Waiting for a government job. And I don't want to go into that because it's not always easy to just walk into an office, you don't know anybody, and you get something. That is how it is in this country at this moment. Maybe it will change tomorrow. I don't know. So I gave it to her. The other woman was like, oh, that kind of look of surprise. I'm like, you guys don't understand. I said, Ma, I will explain to you. Can I tell you something? I never explained to her why I left. But I'm going to be sharing it in my other video, the next video I'm going to be making after this, the reasons why I left, right? So I walked away, and I saw, I was actually championing the scripture union in my school. So with the help of some of those brothers that come around to teach. So I walked into him. That was on a Wednesday. That reminds me, it was the Wednesday. So I told the guy, I said, see, I'm done. I'm so resigned. I've resigned. I said, I hope all is fine. I said, yes, all is fine. All is fine. I'm just so done. And I think I told another teacher, I said, I'll call you. Maybe now I'll call you. They never did. So that was it. I walked out and there was this air of freedom. There was this air of this is a new me. At least for 10 months now, I don't have to be regulated when to wake up, when to get to school, when I was surcharged because I didn't meet, I didn't come at the right time. So it's 10 months now, and this is the journey so far.